Okay, I think we can go ahead and get started. Uh, all of you, thank you for coming to Tufts Alumni Comedy Night. I'm Luke Yu. I'm the host for this evening. I'm class of 2007, and I was founder and first president for two sketch comedy groups at Tufts, and they're both of which are still going strong. Major Undecided and the Institute. Um, and now I live in Singapore, so it's Saturday morning here. We got to wake up and join you guys for this celebration of alumni comedy. Um, so we have a great show with all alumni performers. It's a bunch of different structures. So we have people doing stand-up, we have people reading humor articles that they've had published, improv, all kinds of different things. We have one change in the lineup. Laura Willcox could not join us, sadly, but the alumni comedy community is a really vibrant one. I thought it would be a great thing while we don't have the sort of capacity to be in person with you in a live theater, to get together online and celebrate it. If we can't be live, then it's the next best thing, right? So I was sort of thinking, what could I do to sort of make it a little bit more, make the texture feel a little bit more like we were live. I know, on sports games, they've been piping in crowd noise and that kind of thing. So I came up with a few ideas of what we could do to sort of make it feel a little bit more like we're in person, just like simulate it a little bit. And so the first thing that I thought of, this is something that you can do at home, is just throughout the show, just drink several drinks. That'll really get you in the mood for comedy. And you can tailor that to the kind of comedy show or live event that you tend to go to. So if you're normally going to like a bigger place where they have tours, that kind of thing, you can make yourself a really tiny mixed drink. That'd be great. If you're used to a like a back room of a bar type situation, you might make yourself a really big beer that's also terrible. Either way, it's $17. You can just pay that to anyone else in your house. That'll be a good start to feel like you're there. The second thing I have on my phone, it's not crowd noise, but to really get us in the mood, I hope you can hear that. It's the sound of the bartender in the back just scooping ice constantly throughout the entire show. It's really good. That makes me feel like I'm there. And the last thing, no trip to a real comedy club would be complete without a really tall person that just like stands right in front of you. Or like their seat is right here, and it's just, that's how it goes. I was able to, we're all in quarantine, so I simulated this by putting a hat just on top of a pineapple. So now I feel like we're really together. We're in there in the same room. So without further ado, let's get to it. Our first performer, you've seen her at SF Sketchfest and HBO's Women in Comedy Festival. Please welcome Isha Patnaik.
Hello. Oh, so nice. Thank you, Luke. So nice to see you. Woo! Oh, so nice. I really appreciate you talking about people being taller than me, because I could be 5'11", like no one would know at this point, but I'm 4'11". So that's just my lived experience as being shorter than anyone. I'm so excited to be here. Thank you all. I love like when people don't have video on, because I like imagine us going to a comedy show in the real world and everyone just like having bags over their head, and that would just make comedy so much better. I guess yeah, it's been like a really weird time. We all know that it's weird. I have been reflecting a lot on my college experience. I graduated class of 2017. Like Luke, I also founded a comedy group, but only one. So I'm not as good as he is, which we all knew that when I came on. But um, yeah, I've been thinking a lot about my time at Tufts, and during this like time of being isolated and alone, I've been thinking about like my sexuality, and for a really long time, I like didn't know if I was bisexual or just a woman who went to Tufts. Like I just didn't that like didn't I just that didn't happen for me. I think maybe I'm more of a lesbian. I'm not entirely sure. I think I do still like men. I'm just having an existential crisis here. I like men, but only if they ask me questions. So I don't like men. So that's good for me. During this time though, I've been thinking about like what kind of people I want to be with, and I think as someone who like went to Tufts, I met a lot of like white American people, but I do think I do want to end up with, hi Miranda, I do want to end up with a British person. So I wrote a song about that. Do people want to hear it? Yes, no, you can say no, and I will still play it. Awesome, great. Okay, I'm Isha Patnaik, and this is my song about me wanting to date a British person. Is Cheerio like aloha? Can you say it twice? I would like to know ya, 'cause bollocks, you're so nice. You be Harry, I'll be Megan. Put my bucking in your ham. I know she's a 10, but I'm a solid 7. Okay, maybe a 6. Okay, maybe a 5. Really, a 4. I have such a good personality. Okay, I'll start over. You be Harry, I'll be Megan. Let me be your temptation. I can take you right to heaven, even though my people believe in reincarnation. I want you to take over my body. I don't care if you despise me. I'm not asking for marriage or shadi. I want you to colonize me. Take my hand and take my land. English is the only language I understand. I want to mount your Winston Churchill as you hike up my tax bill. I want you to take over my body. I don't care if you despise me. Stealing everything's kind of naughty. I want you to colonize me. I don't mean to cause me drama. This is just my inherited trauma. Caused a lot of famine, but I'm still hungry for you. I don't know what's happening. Oh, figured it out. I want you to take over my body. I don't care if you despise me. You ruined everything for Pakistanis. I want you to colonize me. Thank you. That's my song about thank you, thank you. Thanks. I appreciate you coming off of mute. That was great. I've just been really thinking about wanting to date a British person. I live in New York, so it's probably not going to happen for me. I'm gonna do one more song and then I'll leave you alone. I've been thinking a lot about how much time I've been spending in this day and age, just like alone, and the things that I just miss about the pre-quarantine lifestyle. So I'm gonna do a song about that. We still don't know a lot as the virus ravages this land. Though there's much I've been taught, there's only one thing I want to understand. And this question I'll ask until I have to go. And if you have the answer, please let me know. What do white people smell like? What do white people smell like? Do they smell the same as before? What do white people smell like? Do they smell like climbing mountains for fun? Do they smell like egg salad? Do they smell like, hey, I'm just popping out for a run? Will someone please answer the central question of this ballad? What do white people smell like? What do white people smell like? Do they smell the same as before? What do white people smell like? I don't want to forget in case I meet them again. Do they smell like canceling student loan debt? Oh wait, no, it's because our president's gonna be Joe Biden. Which the lesser of two evils, I get it. Capitalism sucks. What do white people smell like? What do white people smell like? Do they smell the same as before? What do white people smell like? Thank you, everyone. I'll hand it back to Luke. Please answer.
Yay! Thanks, Isha. And by the way, I cannot sing or play the ukulele, so you are definitely better than me. You were talking at the beginning, I was just thinking, living in Singapore, you know, it's a totally different thing. I'm from California. I lived in America my whole life. Of course, you know, there's a lot of stuff that's different. It's a totally different context. There's everything you've heard about Singapore. There's all the hawker centers, and it's like the crazy rich Asian part and all that. But what really hit home for me was I went out to a wine store. I was looking for a specific kind of wine. It was very sort of sentimental to me because it's the wine that my wife and I drank at our wedding. So I was looking for, like, it's our anniversary. I was trying to see if I could find a bottle of that, like, so we could celebrate. And so I went to the store. I was asking this guy, do you have this specific kind? I told him the whole story. And he said, oh no, we don't have that, but we do have similar ones, like same varietal, etc. And he handed me this bottle and he said, this one has much better branding than the one that you're looking for. And so I asked him, what do you mean? And he said, oh, this one is more famous than the one that you want. And just like that, like, I didn't know what to say to him. I was like, okay, well, I don't want that. Like, I explained the whole thing to you of why I'm looking for this specific one. Yeah, they're very obsessed with branding, and like the most famous thing is definitely the best. So even if, like, you know, all the signs are in English and in several other languages, but like somehow that's what really got me. All right, let's move it right along. Our next performer, you've seen his work in The New Yorker and McSweeney's and at UCB Theater, New York. Please welcome Luke Burns.
Hey, everybody. Thanks for having me. Thanks to Luke and Jabari for setting this up. So I'm going to read a piece that I wrote that is, it's actually a choose your own adventure game. So I'm going to need everybody's help in the chat, just making the decisions as we go through this adventure. So please feel free, as you know, as we're getting into it, drop what you think we should be doing in the chat once we get to that point. This is a game that I made that you can play online. I made it, you can play all the way through it. There's hidden endings, secret endings. So there'll still be some secrets to uncover, but I'll drop the link to it in the chat. It's got great illustrations by my friend, Lucas Adams. Please feel free to check it out after. But right now, I'm just gonna take you on this adventure. This is called a series of choose your own adventure stories where no matter what you do, you are immediately killed by a werewolf. Okay, so a series of choose your own adventure stories where no matter what you do, you're immediately killed by a werewolf. Welcome, reader. Thrills and chills await you in these 5 terrifying tales. Have fun, but remember, watch out for werewolves. First adventure is called Trapped in the Museum. All right, this is Trapped in the Museum. You're on a school trip to the museum and it's so boring you sneak away to take a quick nap. You only mean to rest your eyes for a minute, but when you wake up, you realize the sun has set and the museum is totally deserted. You're trapped in the museum. You can't be stuck here all night. People say weird stuff happens at this museum after dark. There are rumors and whispers that the exhibits come to life. But more importantly, it's Friday, which means your parents are getting pepperoni pizza for dinner. It's the best night of the whole week, so you've got to find a way out. You take out your map of the museum. It looks like there are 3 different routes you can take to get to the exit. Each one goes through a different exhibit. Which way do you want to go? So these are the 3 options. This is where I'll need everybody's help. Do we go through the Egyptian wing, the Hall of Arms and Armor, or the dinosaur exhibit? Feel free to drop that in the chat. I'll just try to. I'm seeing a lot of dinos. Okay, I think dinosaurs have it. Okay. You take a tentative step into the dinosaur exhibit. The room is pitch black. As your eyes slowly adjust to the darkness, you hear a strange noise coming from near an eerie bunch of dinosaur bones. You move to take out your trusty flashlight, which you always carry with you, but it's too late. Out from behind the eerie bunch of dinosaur bones jumps a bloodthirsty werewolf. It rips your head clean off, killing you instantly. Your last thought before you die is, why was there a werewolf in the museum? The next day, the museum guards discover your headless body in the dinosaur exhibit. All right, so not so great. Let's see if we can do a little bit better in this next adventure. All right, next up we have the Old Mansion. All right, the Old Mansion. You and your friends got dared by the richest kid in school, Branton, to spend the night in the old mansion up on the hill. You don't believe in ghosts, but as you enter the mansion's dimly lit foyer, you have to admit, it's a little spooky. But if you spend the whole night, Branton has to buy you and your friends as much pepperoni pizza as you want, so you gotta do it. You and your friends decide to split up, but you get first pick of where to go. Where do you want to go? Okay, so let's try to, do a little bit better this time. Do you go to the wine cellar, the library, or the nursery? This is, okay, a couple of libraries I should have expected, but I think, as usual, it's mostly, I'm seeing the wine cellar. As you enter the pitch black wine cellar, you hear a strange panting noise coming from behind an eerie rack of wine. You move to pull out your trusty flashlight, which you always carry with you, but it's too late. A werewolf jumps out from behind the eerie rack of wine, holding an eerie bottle of nice, reasonably priced Piedmontese red. But it's not even a full moon, is what you want to shout, but you can't, because the werewolf rips your head clean off, killing you instantly. The next day, your friends find your headless body in the wine cellar. The end. All right, I gotta say we're 0 for 2 here, but let's try the mystery of Werewolf Forest. All right, the mystery of Werewolf Forest. It's your first day at Camp Werewolf in Werewolf Forest. You'd rather be spending the summer at home eating pepperoni pizza till you get sick, but you can't because your parents are getting divorced. To make matters even worse, Branton, the richest kid in school, got kicked out of the rich kid camp, so he's going to Camp Werewolf too. Ugh. You're sitting on the dock looking out at Werewolf Lake, skipping stones and feeling sorry for yourself, when suddenly you realize it's time for Camp Werewolf's first day jamboree. You've got to get moving. Before you make any decisions about which path you're going to take through Werewolf Forest to get to the mess hall, you remember that you have to write your name on your name tag so that the other campers know what to call you. So just real quick, what's your character's name? I'm seeing Brendan. Okay, we'll go Brendan. I like Brendan. Okay, Brandon. As you finish writing your name on your name tag and stick it on your shirt, a bloodthirsty werewolf jumps out from behind some nearby bushes. The werewolf snarls, "Hi, Brandon," as he rips your head clean off, killing you instantly. Your last thought before you die is, "I guess this is what I should have expected from Werewolf Forest." The next day, the other campers find your headless body floating in Lake Werewolf. They know it's you because your name tag reading, "Hi, I'm Brendan," is still stuck to your shirt. All right, so we got one more. Again, we're 0 for 3 here. Let's see if we do a little better in this one. This final story is The Riddle of the Philosophy Professor. You are in the office of a philosophy professor because you have a bunch of questions about free will and stuff like that. You want to know, are people doomed to suffer regardless of the choices they make? Why do good things happen to bad people, like Brandon, the richest kid in school? Is there a deeper form of happiness than the kind that comes from eating pepperoni pizza? The professor explains a lot of different concepts and you listen attentively. After 3 hours, the conversation comes to a close and you feel like you've learned something. So what do? Do you feel content in the knowledge that one can still make meaningful choices even if existence itself is fundamentally absurd? Do you curse God for putting you on this planet only to suffer? Or do you stoically resign yourself to whatever fate the universe has in store for you, knowing that you've lived your life the most honest way you could? A lot of curse gods. Usually there's a lot of curse gods. People do this. Yeah, okay, yeah, curse God. Okay. You curse God for putting you on this planet only to suffer it. Brace yourself for your head to be ripped clean off by a bloodthirsty werewolf. But it doesn't happen. You just have to live your life now. You have unlimited choices and anything could happen. It's the most spine-tingling adventure of all. The end. Thank you very much. I'll drop the link in the chat if anybody wants to play and see the extras, et cetera, et cetera. Thank you very much.
All right, yay, Luke Burns. Oh, I have a message here. Unmute myself. Yes, I think I did that already. That really tickled me, especially. I don't know for any of you growing up if you just tore through those choose your own adventure books. And at a certain point, I had one that I just wanted to know all the different things that could have happened. So I started like dog-earing pages that seemed really important. Like I want to come back and choose the other choice, until eventually I dog-eared like so many of the pages. And I was like, what are we doing here? Love those books. So our next performer, we actually have a duo coming up next. You've seen them in Nitro Comedy, and they're the co-creators and hosts of Mind Over Manor. Please welcome Arthur Berman and Ilana Hamer.
Woohoo! Hey, I want to show my face. Oh, they can't find me. Can anyone see me? No, right?
Yes,
oh,
we
you
can see you.
can see me. Oh my gosh, I look like such a dummy. All right, hey everyone. My name is Ilana, and I'm so excited and confused to be here.
All right, hello everybody. I'm Arthur, and at some point my face will probably show up on screen too. I'm also excited and a little bit confused by how Zoom works at all.
Yes,
But that's
we're
part
still
of the
getting
fun.
used to it.
Yeah, eventually I'll show up and it'll be a very cool gag for everybody. What's up, everybody? Is there any way that we can both be spotlighted at the same time? Yes, there is.
There we
Technology
go.
is incredible.
All right, well, if you can't tell, I am dressed up as P.T. Barnum. What?
And I, of course, am beloved Tufts mascot, Jumbo the Elephant.
Pretty good?
What indeed. Now, the two of us are kind of the ringmasters of our own virtual circus, because we created our own Twitch show to kind of keep ourselves entertained during the pandemic. It's a show where comedians who are funnier than we are do tasks that we would never be caught dead doing in order to make money towards a massive charity jackpot, money towards a charity of their choice, and just also the pride and fame of winning the key to the Mind Over Manor manor.
Oh yeah, it's Mind Over Manor like a house. We're so smart.
It is indeed.
But tonight we are going to put our money where our mouth is and start to do some of the challenges that we normally tell our contestants to do. So we've both come here tonight with some Play-Doh. I made mine from scratch because I'm scared to go to the store.
I bought mine online because I'm scared to go to the store.
And we are going to be looking for some inspiration in the chat. So open that chat back up and type in anything that reminds you of Tufts, like a Tufts object or a Tufts building. We're going to use that as inspiration. We're both going to build something. There'll be a little bit of a competition. I'm seeing a lot of cannon.
Cannon is a huge win already in the chat. So with that, Ilana, would you mind putting some time on the clock? And the two of us are going to compete to create the best cannon-inspired creation out of Play-Doh.
Yeah, so I am going to put 2 minutes on the clock. Get ready, go! Did you ever paint the cannon, Arthur?
You know, I never actually did paint the cannon. I always walked by it, thought, oh, this would be a fun thing to do. I'll do it someday. And then never did.
Yeah, that's
what
real.
about you? Also, do you want to maybe move your camera so we can see your Play-Doh?
Oh, that's real. That's real. I'm so stressed out about the timing. I painted the cannon as a freshman when I was temporarily in an environmental group. You know how everyone goes through that phase?
Definitely. Well, I can relate to it, definitely.
Everyone in the chat, I feel like, can relate. Yeah, it was all right. I dropped it after the first year because I realized I wasn't going to fit in ever.
All right. Yeah, the whole cannon painting thing always seemed cool, but first, here's a question. Where did the paint come from? Did you have to buy your own paint in order to participate in a great Tufts University tradition?
Are you asking if you had to pay money to do a Tufts thing? Of course you had to pay money. The whole thing is to pay money.
I feel like a fool for even asking the question. Of course you have to pay money to participate in a Tufts-related activity. Except for this one, which is free. How are we doing on time?
Oh, we're okay. We've got 45 seconds left.
Oh, geez.
I'm running out of things to do here, but if you guys like how I'm doing, please write my name in the chat because this is a competition.
It's true. We want to know what you out there in the audience think. Are you pro Ilana or pro Arthur?
All right, I'm seeing a lot of Arthurs, which is pretty obnoxious.
Finally, vindication.
But I also understand because my cannon currently looks like a weird caterpillar.
It does, and I have the advantage of color because I spent money on mine.
Hey, I had red and blue food dye. All right, we've got 5 seconds left.
Oh,
just as
geez.
a heads
Oh,
up.
geez.
All right, I don't know what to do here.
All
right. That is our time.
That is our time.
Do I know how to turn it off? I do. All right, so if you didn't put whose sculpture you liked better in the chat, check it out now. Isn't it beautiful? If you like my cannon better, please put it in the chat. Thank you, Sophia. I don't know you, but you're my new best friend.
Thank you, everybody else who voted for me. I really appreciate it, and you're all my new best friend. Folks, if this seems like something that you'd like to see more of, or you want to see other, even funnier people do the same kind of general weirdness, come check out our show. You can go to catchthetoast.com Wednesdays at 8 p.m. or twitch.tv/2MB Studios to see a little bit more of the mind over manner, bizarre crafting, and other challenges energy.
And if you don't check us out, they've got shows 7 days a week. So whenever you're feeling down,
you can go there anytime.
Bye, everyone. Thank you.
See you later.
All right, awesome. Thanks, Arthur and Ilana. So speed Play-Doh definitely makes me think of a documentary on Netflix called The Speed Cubers. Has anyone seen The Speed Cubers? It is a documentary covering competitive Rubik's Cube solving. It is so good. I definitely recommend it. This part is not a joke. It's a real, genuine recommendation. You should go see that. But what is sort of silly about it is about nominally, it's the competition to solve the cube, but it's definitely one of those things where the real cube is the friends we made along the way. Great. Our next performer, just keep the line moving. You've seen his work in College Humor, at Upright Citizens Brigade New York, and at People's Improv Theater. Please welcome Jared Bronin.
Hello. Thank you, Luke. Thanks to everyone who's helping to put on the show, and thanks to all of you folks for coming to join tonight. I'm going to be performing a PowerPoint character, which is why I have this beautiful visual behind me. So, all right, let's do this thing. Hello, everyone. If we haven't met already, my name is Lyle. I'm the Director of Security Operations here at Corpotech, and today I'll be going over a summary of everything we know about the security breach incident from last week. But before we get started, I did just want to talk about a little something, because the truth is I'm feeling just a little bit PO'd right now, because for the third day in a row, someone has tipped over my hog. It's been about half a week since I started riding my hog to work, and someone keeps tipping it over in the parking lot. So if this applies to anyone in this room, I would just kindly ask you to give it a rest, okay? Anyways, as you can see here right now, through this graph, the hackers were able to run their own code on our machines, causing the site speed to decrease dramatically. So we've looked into some improvement plans, et cetera, et cetera. And just to quickly jump back to a point from earlier, I just want to know who did it. Ellen, you got something you want to say right now? Been hanging around the parking lot recently? Craig, something on your mind? Ian, anything like that? I feel like I've seen you kind of smiling over there. Becca, anyone else? Okay. All right, back to the servers. We have reached levels of CPU and disk IO that are simply unsustainable. So we'll be evaluating some consulting groups, some monitoring agents, yada, yada, yada. And I just want to know why. Does my hog intimidate you? Is that it? I mean, perhaps you're overcome with hog envy. I mean, I get it. It's a massive hog. So massive, in fact, that I had to ask Ian from maintenance to help me lift my hog back up. Then he asked if I wanted to start carpooling to work together, and I couldn't say no on account of how helpful he was. So now we're riding to work together, his meat paws on the back of my hips. So, you know, as we share a commute to work, him riding up on the back of my hog. So yeah, I'm feeling pretty effing PO'd about that. And just a quick note on my hog, it's not even my hog, okay? She belongs to my wife. And yes, my wife, is a self-described bad girl. Yeah, again, my wife is a little scary. And normally I like that. But when I come home with a hog, not once, not twice, but thrice tipped over, full of nicks, my wife gets straight up spooky on me. I mean, do you think my wife and I like being PO'd? I mean, look at this. Well, yeah, great. You're getting new laptops because y'all got viruses. Hoopty mother effing do. And I don't want to hear any more BS theories. Oh, maybe it was the wind. Take a look outside, for Christ's sakes. I mean, come on. Mike's got a hog. Kyle's got a hog. Mark has a hog, all fully erect in the parking lot. Clearly, my hog and I are being targeted. So yeah, I'm feeling pretty effing PO'd about that. I mean, we got nicks on the handlebars. We got nicks on the rims. We got nicks on whatever this is. This piece of the hog is unfamiliar to me. All right, let's just wrap this up, shall we? F yourself. I will not work at a company where you do not show me or my hog the respect we deserve. Any questions? Here's one. Who the F tipped over my hog? All right, you guys, that's it for me. Thank you so much. If you did, in fact, like that, my name is Jared Bronin. You can find me on Instagram, J Bronin. Thank you guys so much.
Awesome. Thanks, Jared. That was great. I really wish that PowerPoints at work were a lot more like that. Our next performer, he is the filmmaker of Hysterical, which won Best Feature Documentary at the NYC Independent Film Festival. Please welcome Paul Higbie.
Hello, everybody. Hello. Hello, I'm Paul Higbie, and I don't want to show you what my home looks like. Great to be here in the Zoom. So I'd like to do something tiny bit different. It's a game show, and a game show for a good reason, for a good purpose. I'm excited to talk about my next project. I'm proud to be part of the Comedy Producer Podcast Network. The Comedy Producer Podcast Network, all the greatest producers from all the greatest comedy podcasts that you love, they've come together to do podcasts about producing comedy podcasts all in one place. You know it, the Comedy Producer Podcast Network. So it's on iTunes, Stitcher. And I'm giving away the winner of this little game show we're going to do. You get to do a tour of the Comedy Producer Podcast Network studio. So you can see how all your favorites work their magic, editing and booking guests and stuff like that, and really see how the sausage is made. Can I get 2 volunteers, please? Just 2 people unmute themselves, say, I want a chance to tour the Comedy Producer Podcast Studio.
I want a chance to tour the Comedy Producers Podcast Studio.
That's one person. Zoom isn't showing me who you are, but that's one person. And thank you. What's your name, please?
My name is Emily Touche, but
Emily Touche. Give her a hand. Everyone give Emily a hand. Thank you. Thank you so much. So, Emily, why do you want to tour the Comedy Producer Podcast Network studio?
I think it'd be fun to go somewhere new that I haven't been. And I've never seen a podcast studio, and I also have never known about what goes into making a funny podcast behind the scenes.
Okay, well, that is great. I like the enthusiasm. I like the inquisitiveness. Can we get a second guest, please? A second candidate, a second contestant.
What she said.
What's your name, sir?
Dave.
Dave?
Yes. And
Hi,
I like the podcast because I like pod people.
You're speaking my language, Dave. Me too. All right, cool. All right. So Dave and Emily are here. Thank you so much for playing the game. And without further ado, I think let's start with Emily. Can you tell me who is, the first question, who is the producer of WTF with Mark Maron? Emily, are you there? Did we lose Emily?
Oh God, I'm here. I don't know.
You don't know.
No.
Okay, I thought
I feel it. I actually. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I'm here. I'm ready. I don't get this one.
All right. Well, that's a little disappointing because that was like a gimme. All right.
I think I have to get out of here. I think I needed to have someone take my spot. I'm sorry. I was too enthusiastic, and I don't have any of the knowledge to win this game.
No, you're in it. You can't go.
Okay.
So with a chance to steal, Dave.
Yeah, so I have, my email address is AOL, and I don't even know how to, like, how do I do Zoom and like so like, oh man, like I have no freaking clue.
Okay, that was the easiest question, but okay. Well, let's just try the next one. This is another easy one. Famous TV host Conan O'Brien, America's favorite. He hosts a wonderful podcast, Conan O'Brien Needs a Friend. Emily, tell me, who produces Conan O'Brien Needs a Friend?
Paul Higbie.
Jordan Schlansky?
No. What? From the TV show? This is what I'm talking. All right, Dave with the chance to steal.
You know, I shouldn't have signed up either here. You know, like he had this sidekick he's got red hair. The side Andy. I don't know.
This isn't the Sidecast podcast network, Dave. This is the Comedy Producer Podcast.
Oh man,
you thought, oh, this will be fun. Oh, this will just be a little bit of fun. I'm gonna
And
waste everyone's time.
lots of money, and fame. Oh
No,
man.
it's not about money and fame. It's about comedy producers. This is their chance. This is the big break for them.
The comedy? Is it it?
What?
No freaking clue.
All right. All right. I'll open this one up to anyone. Up to anyone.
That's a good idea. That's a good
All
idea.
right. This next one, up to anyone. Long running podcast. This is an OG podcast. One of the greats. Never Not Funny. Never Not Funny. Anyone, please tell me who is the producer of Never Not Funny? You think these things just happen, don't you? Do you think they just turn on a microphone and the comedy just comes out and everyone just gets through their workouts and their cooking and their chores and their commutes? You think it just happens? Well, you know what? It doesn't just happen. There are hardworking comedy podcast producers who make it happen. And I am going to be having the pleasure of touring the goddamn thing myself with no one because no one appreciates it. So give yourselves a pat on the back for whatever. All right. Hey, hold on. Oh my God. Hold on. I just saw it in the chat. Oh my
They Googled
God.
it. They Googled it.
Oh my God. Avalon McLaren, come on down. You are the winner of the Comedy Producer Podcast Game Show. Thank you so much. I'll see you in Hollywood.
Oh, awesome. Thanks, Paul. If Paul, if you're still watching, how do we watch Hysterical? Is it possible? Maybe you can put it in the chat. Like, let us know where we can stream it or rent it or anything like that.
Sure, yeah. If everyone doesn't hate me by now, yeah, I'll put it in the chat.
So Emily mentioned at the very beginning she would be interested in playing your game because she would love to tour a studio and like go somewhere she's never been, which is like a really striking attitude to have in the current time, because I barely go, anywhere that I'm really familiar with. Like just leaving my apartment is like, I'm gonna say like a weekly situation. Although things are COVID wise, things are a little bit better in Singapore, but who knows? You never know. All right. Let's keep this whole thing moving. We have our next performer. You can see his work in The New Yorker, in McSweeney's, and in Points in Case. Please welcome James Folta.
Hello. Am I unmuted? Yes, seems like it. How's it going? I'm live from my kitchen in New York. That's the really fun thing with doing comedy shows over Zoom is, you guys get to see my stove, which, I used to try to lug out to live shows, but it doesn't really fit through all the subway doors. I had to get my own car. Really expensive. Thank you, Declan. Thank you for noticing how clean it was. I did clean for the show. That is a nice thing about Zoom shows, is you have to tidy up your whole damn house before you perform. Really great. Really great to be here amongst jumbos. So fun. So yeah, I'm going to be reading a little piece that was published in The New Yorker a couple years ago. So if you've read it before and memorized it, feel free to read along with it. Shout out the favorite lines if you want to say them along with me. I know that short humor, especially published online, is as popular as pop music, and people, go around humming and singing their favorite bits. So it wouldn't surprise me, and it wouldn't embarrass me if you sang along and read along with me on this bit. So please do. I won't be embarrassed. I love the spotlight. So this is a piece about something that none of us are doing now in Zoom, in quarantine rather. And it's a piece called An Honest Invitation to a Potluck Dinner Party. An honest invitation to a potluck dinner party. Hi guys, you're all invited over to my place for a dinner party this Friday night at 8 p.m. Feel free to bring a date or anyone I accidentally left off of this invite. I want this to be a fun, chill night and a chance to reconnect with pals who don't already have better plans for the evening. It's gonna be a potluck, so I'm gonna cook up a main course and mix some cocktails that all taste slightly off. Did I get the recipe wrong, or is it just residue soap in the glass? But please bring a dish along too, otherwise there's not gonna be enough food. The odds of that still happening are very high, but I'm a dreamer. It would be great if somebody could bring some very dry chicken that got cold on the way over, a very wet salad, and a loaf of bread that tastes like wadded up newspaper. Oh, and if somebody could bring a tray of cookies that break your teeth and a lot of bags of chips, that would be great. Food-wise, I'm hoping that this potluck is mostly bags of chips. But don't worry, I'll be sure to clear plenty of fridge space for all the bodega six-packs, which is what most of you will contribute. This is a wonderful opportunity to experiment with that new recipe and to try to keep up with the facade that you cook all the time. And it's okay if you can't find that one obscure spice that ties the whole dish together and have to substitute something that you thought was similar, but clearly is not similar at all. We can all learn together that celery salt is not very good. Oh, Dana, thank you for shaking your head. Yeah, celery salt haters in the crowd. All right, back into the piece. FYI, I'm gonna call this a housewarming party, even though I've been living in this apartment for more than 3 years. Feel free to show up whenever. I know I said 8 p.m. and since it's a dinner party, you might assume that we're gonna sit down to eat then, but at that point, I'm still gonna have at least an hour or two of cooking left to do. No worries though, we can hang out as I get drunker and worse at cooking. And it's fine if some of you show up hours late, like this is a college party, assuming that we'll save you some dinner. We won't, but there will be a lot of chips. I just love to host dinner parties, even though my place is tiny and I don't have enough utensils for all of you. Nothing makes me feel more connected to other people than standing near a table and eating a piece of meat with a spoon. We're adults now. This is how we have mature fun. Cramped in each other's tiny apartments, making small talk with exes who are now dating other people from within our friend group. Don't worry, I'll make sure we never run out of things to talk about. I'm gonna prepare some parlor games and theater warm-ups I learned at camp decades ago. And if we feel ourselves slipping into a natural conversation, I'll have a list of serious and vaguely philosophical questions ready to go. Have you ever wondered what all your friends think about spouses sharing bank accounts, or if religion is just like a construct? It's gonna take a dinner party to find out the answers to these questions. If you need to leave early to go to another party, but don't want to invite anyone who is at my dinner party, don't worry. We'll all pretend to not see you posting from your much more fun looking gathering later on. Most of you will stay for an hour longer than you really want to, and then spend the ride home reassuring your significant other that what he or she cooked really was good, and people were probably just too full because they were smart enough to eat before the party. And you'll all definitely have to eat again when you get home, all while thinking angrily, what's the goddamn point of a dinner party where you don't even get dinner? Looking forward to seeing you all on Friday, along with the surprise guests who are going to show up because someone actually believed me when I said, quote, invite anyone, and brought people that I passively aggressively left off of the email chain. There's a good chance that I'll cancel this potluck at the last second for a reason that should have precluded me from planning it in the first place. If you can make it, please reply all to this email thread with what you're bringing and with a huge GIF that will take forever to load and will break everyone's computer. Can't wait to see you on Friday. Thanks, everyone. I'm James Folta. You can find me Anywhere that internet is sold.
All right, awesome. Thanks, James. Lots of great tips in there for Thanksgiving coming up, which I hope you do not use because you are home on your own. All right, we've come down, last but not least, to our final performance of the night. You've seen him on Broadway in Fun Home and at UCB Theater, New York. Please welcome Joél Pérez.
Hey everybody. Hey, what's up? Do you guys want to see me play with myself? All right, this song is a little story about a time that I read The Year of Yes by Shonda Rhimes. Yes, that Shonda Rhimes. For most of my life, I tried to blend with the scenery. I felt like a cog in the wheel of some faulty machinery, until I decided to say a three-letter word every day. It changed my life, and I've been so happy to say yes to life, yes to opportunity, yes to all the things that turn me into the best version of me. I expanded my mind and threw down my walls, jumped out of a plane in a free fall. I said yes to my life, I said yes to my career, I said yes to my love life, and I became a slut. I mean, I said yes to saying no to shame, and I became shameless. And so one night, I was out in a neighborhood in New York City called Hell's Kitchen. Some people know it as the Dance Belt of Manhattan. And I went out to I was wearing a really nice suit that I had just gotten from Zara. And I kept the tags on it because I fully intended to return it. I am a theater actor after all. And so I am out at this bar, and I do something that I did something that I never ever do. I went out to a bar by myself because I was saying yes to this life. I was saying yes to this night. So I go out to this bar, and I'm standing at the bar, and this very handsome gentleman sidles up next to me, and he's like, "Hey, can I buy you a drink?" And I look at him, and I'm like, "Well, I'm having a year of yes." So I said, yes. Ooh. You know, he wanted to buy me a drink. So I said, buy me a drink. He said, you're wearing a really nice suit. Are you a doctor? I said, yes. Ooh. I didn't want to like burst his bubble. Besides, I started at Tufts as a chemistry major, and I was pre-med, so I wasn't like totally lying. So he buys me a few drinks. I'm getting a little drunk. We go down to the dance floor, and we're like really drunk, like sloppy dancing. I was saying yes to this night. And this other guy comes up to us, and he starts dancing with us. And we're like three-way dancing on the dance floor. It's sloppy. It's like 3 a.m. kind of like messy kind of dancing. And he leans into my ear, the other guy, and he's like, hey, I'm having a party. He was some kind of European. I don't remember. I was drunk. He was like, I'm having a party in my hotel room. You guys should come. And I heard a little Shonda Rhimes on my shoulder. So, you know, I said, yes, ooh. I had to say yes to this night. It was exactly what I wanted. I said yes to life, yes to opportunity, yes to all the things that turn me into the best version of me. I expanded my mind and threw off my cares. My world became sunshine. love affairs, yes to flirting, yes to dancing, yes. Let's go to your hotel for some romancing. I open the door, and to my surprise, it's a crystal meth sex party with tons of guys who just look dead in their eyes. Hi, everybody, I'm Joél. Hey, yeah. Oh, hey, you too. That looks like there's a lot of trust going on between you two. I've only seen that in films. I've never seen it in person. That looks very athletic. What are you, sir, what are you even doing up there? What's the point of being up there? Oh my God. Sir, are you okay? Do you need like some water or something? Hey, we should call this guy a doctor. It looks like he needs who? Oh, me? No, I'm not a doctor. I just said that at the bar. I'm doing like a year of yes thing. Yeah. So we gonna help him? No. Oh, you're gonna put something else in his mouth. Okay, that's cool. Oh, wow. Whoa, it's getting late. I should probably go. I have stuff to do tomorrow. I'm very, very busy. So I'm gonna head out. You two are still at it over there, huh? There's a third person in there. Wow. I'm not even mad. I'm impressed. That's cool. Okay, nobody's even paying attention to me anymore. All right, well. So sometimes it's good to say no. Shonda Rhimes is full of shit. Thank you.
Yay, Joel. All right. Oh, God. Thank you all for coming out to Tufts Alumni Comedy Night / Ukulele Jamboree. We really appreciate it. Hopefully, I'll keep my fingers crossed someday we'll be able to see you again live in person at a real show, at a real life with you in the audience and us on the stage, like actually there. It'll be great. In the meantime, wear a mask. We love you. See you later. Thanks.